Hey guys, it's Joy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of my Handmade Christmas series that I try to put on every single year. And today I have created some see-through shaker ornaments using some products from Lawn Fawn. So here are the two snowflakes dies that I'm going to be using, the stitched snowflake frame and the Magic Iris snowflake add-on. I have cut I'm actually going to need 6 pieces of the background, and I believe that's the stitched snowflake frame. And then I'm going to be cutting 3 of the Magic Iris snowflakes, which I believe is this one right in front of us. I am using some mermaid cardstock from Lawn Fawn. I have some scrapbook.com. This is clear adhesive double-sided tape, and it needs to be clear. I want to make these snowflakes look sparkly and fluffy. So I'm going to be using a new product from Tailored Expressions, and it is the Fluffy Snow Glitter, and it definitely makes these guys look fluffy. So I also want to see the blue through the glitter, which is why I'm using this clear tape. This is 2-inch tape, and I think scrapbook.com may have a 3 or a 4-inch tape. I'm going to use some low-tack tape to tape my die cut in place. I'm going to run this through my Platinum 6 die cut machine. I need to do this 3 times so I can get 2 out of this sheet here, and then I can do 1 more, and I will just do that off camera because it's the same exact process of putting my tape down, using my die cutting through the tape and the cardstock. One thing to note is that your cardstock needs to be on the thinner side, not a thicker cardstock. Otherwise, it's really hard to die cut through the tape and the cardstock. Okay, so now I want to remove the release paper off of my snowflake. This is going to leave us with the front being sticky. This is what's going to let the fluffy snow glitter adhere to the front of our snowflake. So I'm going to sprinkle this on. I have it on a piece of scratch paper. That way it's easy to just dump back into the bottle. I'm going to sprinkle that on there, and then I do like to, after I shake it off, kind of press it down just a little bit into the adhesive, because I want to make sure that the glitter is not going to fall off later. But look at how pretty that is, and it sticks out kind of past all of the cardstock, which gives it that fluffy feel. I love this glitter. I sped it up a little bit quicker. I'm going to do the same thing for the next 2 snowflakes, but because I already have some glitter on my work surface, I'm just going to put it sticky side down, tap it down, make sure I have the glitter everywhere. I'm going to do it on the 3rd one as well. And this is going to be the fronts of our snowflakes. So like I mentioned, these are see-through shaker ornaments. So you definitely could hang this on your tree. I wanted this to be see-through, so when you do hang it on your tree and the lights catch it, it hopefully will sparkle and be nice and pretty. I also thought it would be fun to have the shaker elements that you could see through on both sides, even though there's clearly a front to the card. Okay, so on the stitched snowflake frames, I have die cut 6 of these from the same mermaid cardstock. I used a circle die from the stamp market that just happened to fit perfectly inside of this snowflake here. And I'm using some liquid glue to adhere it down. So I had die cut, let's see, 6. Boy, I can't count. 6 pieces of acetate. This acetate is from scrapbook.com. I'm using some Barely Art glue. I'm not putting a ton of glue down. I don't want it to squish out where you can see it through my acetate, but we want the front and back piece to both have acetate. This is how we're going to see through the shaker, and both sides are going to enclose the shaker bits. So let's finish adding our acetate, could not remember what it was called, to the last snowflake. Now I want to add my foam tape. I am going to do double foam tape like you always do when you're making a shaker. I'm only going to put it on one side, and I'm doing that because I think it would be too hard to line up if I did one layer of foam adhesive on each snowflake. So I'm just going to do it on 1/2 of each snowflake. So it will be a total of 3 of these. So this first one, I did a single layer, and then I added my second layer on top. But the rest of them, I'm just going to fold my 2 pieces together and then lay it down on my snowflake. When you peel back the release paper, you can bend your foam adhesive nice and easy. These are foam adhesive strips from scrapbook.com. I'm also making sure that my foam adhesive meets on the edges. That way nothing falls out. So here I am pulling 2 of those strips off. I folded them together. This is going to go much faster. So this is already a double layer. Just like the other one, I'm going to peel the release paper back and go around that opening and making sure my 2 ends meet, and then I can do that for the third one. Really super fast. So again, folding my 2 pieces together, peeling off one side of the release paper, and then I just peel off a little bit of the release paper at the top just so my hands don't get sticky in it. And as I'm working around, then I continue to remove that. So I decided to go through my stash and get out some sequence bits that I've had in my stash forever. They are no longer for sale. I am so sorry. These are actually from Honeybee Stamps. This was their holiday cheer, but I went through and got a lot. I didn't know what exactly I was going to use, but I ended up using the holiday cheer. So if you have this in your stash, great. If not, you can't get it anymore. They don't have it on their website. I'm sorry to use something they don't have, but I really wanted to start working through some of the things that I have in my stash so that way I can get other things, because my drawer of sequins is really full. So I like this one because it has white, it has bits of red, and it has some of this kind of teal or turquoise color. So if you find something like that that you can put in, or anything that you want for your shaker bits, but that's why I chose this one. I want to have pops of red. We're going to have a fun pop of red on these ornaments, and I love red and turquoise. I think it's so pretty. So I'm just getting some of these little tiny bits in here, and I'm just filling it up pretty good. I want this to have a good amount of shaker bits inside. Once I have that all full, then I can take the other side of the shaker, which also has a piece of acetate. I'm going to line up my 2 snowflakes. These both match, and then make sure that the adhesive is adhered down nicely, and then we have this easy little see-through shaker. So I'm going to do that for the other 2. It's really super simple, lining up that snowflake. This is why I did the adhesive on one side of the snowflake, because I don't know that I'd be able to line it up great. So super simple. One more time, put that in place. Okay, let's get the rest of these together. I just think these are so darling and so pretty. Look at the shaker bits. Now we have the other snowflake that we added the glitter to. This is the Magic Iris Snowflake add-on. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive and then just adhere this right to the front. And what I like about this is, even though it's the same color, the front snowflake looks a little bit different. It lines up differently with the other snowflake, and look at how fluffy and lacy it looks. I love this. It turned out so pretty. Let's do it for the other 2. I think this is such a darling look. Look at how pretty that turned out. Okay, here is the last one, and then we're going to get to our sentiments. I went through my stash and pulled out some sentiments. I'm using all Simon Says stamp sentiments. I will be using the Believe, the Merry Christmas, and the Large Joy from Simon Says Stamp. I am not using any of the shadow pieces. I have die cut both of them, or excuse me, all 3 of them twice. I am using let's see, I think it's Lawn Fawn's chili pepper cardstock for the red. I'm adhering double cardstock just to give it a little bit of thickness. Usually when I do something like this, I do 3 or 4, but I did not feel like it was necessary, so I just did 2 layers. I want to adhere these to the middle of the snowflakes. I also need a hanger, so I am using Lawn Fawn's peppermint hemp cord. It's so pretty, so I'm just going to cut me 3 pieces here, about the same length. I always tend to cut a little longer and cut some extra off, which does feel a little wasteful, but if I don't do it like that, I always end up cutting them too short. So how I'm going to tie these, oh, well, first, actually, we're not tying them yet. Let's put our sentiments on first. So I don't want to have any adhesive that's going to show up through the acetate window. So these will only be adhered on the parts that hang over onto the mermaid cardstock. Now, because I have some glitter on the front snowflake, I would definitely suggest using some liquid glue because that would adhere and hold much better. So I'm making sure that's nice and straight. I do need to put an acrylic block on top while that dries. And I'm going to do that for all 3 of these. It's super simple. I love that you have these oversized sentiments and they just kind of fit across the middle. It doesn't cover up all the shaker bits. You still can see that, which is why I did not use the shadow piece. Making sure that's nice and centered, getting another acrylic block and putting that on top. And then let's do our third one. Our third one says Merry Christmas. And I love all the scripty font. Obviously you could just do 1 sentiment if you were going to mass produce these. I would say use 1 sentiment, like the joy for instance, because it's super easy, and I would only die cut the sentiment 1 time because I still think it would look fine, but you could easily mass produce these. And I even think with the glitter, I mean, it would take you a little bit longer, but if you didn't want to do the glitter, you wouldn't have to, but I would still use that same snowflake on top and you could get a ton of these. Okay, so I'm the 2 snowflakes in the back, not the front snowflake, has little holes that I am putting this hemp cord through, tying a knot on the top and trimming off the excess. So again, it just goes through the top, front, and back snowflake, not the very front one that has the glitter. And then I can tie this at the top. And obviously you could use any color. I love the red and white. I think it's so super pretty. And then I'm going to finish with the last one. And then we're going to put a few extra snowflakes because I love snowflakes so much. And I love ornaments. So to make a snowflake ornament is just way too much fun. But I'm going to add some more snowflakes to my snowflakes because can you really have too many snowflakes? I don't think so. So I am using, these are the vanilla sugar snowflakes from Trinity Stamps. They have a couple sizes, so larger ones and smaller ones. I'm going to add those around. Some is going to be on the sentiments, some on the mermaid cardstock, but again, I'm not adhering any to the acetate itself because I don't want to see the adhesive through the other side. Again, this is just kind of one-sided. If you didn't want to put a sentiment on, you would not have to. This could be a double-sided and you could add a glitter snowflake to the back side and then it really would be, both sides would look exactly the same and you could get away with doing that too and that would be just as beautiful. So a few more of these little snowflakes, dots of glue, and then we can take a look at these up close and see how pretty they are. I just think these are so lovely. I love these snowflake dies from Lawn Fawn. They are so super pretty. Okay, here we go. Look at all of our shaker bits inside. Look at that fluffy snow. Look at how lacy the snowflakes look. I think it's so pretty that you could see through. I can't wait to put this on my tree. Look at how pretty that is. And let's look at this last one that says believe. Oh, and I did not dot the eyes with any of these because we would see the glue from behind. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project and I hope you guys have a really wonderful day. Bye.